So I totally meant to record this a couple of nights ago when it was on, but my review or just thoughts on the Jesus Christ Superstar live concert that was on NBC. So I'm gonna admit, I went into it with a lot of just trepidation, not really knowing if I was gonna like this or not, because just about every single one of these live productions of anything that they've been doing the past few years, in my opinion, have been cringy as fuck. I know some people have loved them. I... not so much. I mean, Grease Live, especially bad, and Sound of Music Live, oh my god, how dare you ruin one of my favorite movies. But, and Rocky Horror Live I was a little lukewarm on. Peter Pan, like, there've been a ton of them at this point. To the point where some of them I've just, like, not even bothered with at all. It's just like, nope, I know how these go. And they never pan out well, so nope. But this one, it was on Easter, it's Jesus Christ Superstar, has Alice Cooper in it. I was like, I want to skip it, but at the same time, I can't bring myself to do it between it being Easter and Alice Cooper being in it. Just, oh, fuck, fine. So I watched it. Or at least I decided to watch it, I should say. We haven't gotten to the watched it yet. But, I should say, maybe one of the reasons why I liked this one more is that I have never seen the movie version, therefore there is no mental comparisons here. I have never seen a live production, so no mental comparisons there in terms of visuals. All I have familiarity with is the original album, a bunch of different, like, cast productions of it, including the one with Roger Daltrey playing Judas in it. I mean, I've heard many different versions of Jesus Christ Superstar, and I like it. But I've never seen it, so I feel like that may have made a difference here in my being more cool with this one. I should say that this, I mean, to be fair, it's a rock opera more than a traditional musical, so I mean, right off the bat, that's more up my alley than a lot of musicals are. To be fair, I mean, we all know I'm a Who fan. I adore Tommy, which is like the quintessential rock opera to end all rock operas, and the very first time I ever heard the original album of Jesus Christ Superstar, like within the first couple of minutes, I was already making comparisons to, this sounds like Tommy. And Dad was like, yeah, it came out like the year after it. I was like, well, that explains a few things. And he grew up with it. It was his brother's album, and his brother had, like, this legit light show in his car. He had set up with the album and everything. So my dad always had fond memories of this album, and more than a little bit pushed it on me. But to be fair, thank God I liked it even on the first listen. My youngest sister, not so much, so I mean, I'm lucky I liked it, because otherwise my life would probably be a lot more difficult having to listen to something that I didn't like every year, but no, I liked it right off the bat, and always did. We're just not gonna talk about her much, but, anyways, so, but yeah, that has always been one big thing about the original that drew me to it like that, was that it sounds like Tommy, it feels like Tommy, even, I mean, Tommy to me, like, I practically got, like, spiritual enlightenment on some level out of, so it makes sense that a biblical rock opera would kind of have the same feel as that. I mean, the guy who plays Judas in the original sounds a lot like Roger Daltrey, which is why it blew my mind that, oh shit, there actually was a production that had him playing that exact role. I'm not the only one who thought it sounded like him. So, okay, so that's my back history in terms of my familiarity of this show and my non-familiarity with actual visualizations of said show. So, hearing that Alice Cooper would be in it was definitely the solidifying thing where, I mean, if I had just heard, well, John Legend's playing Jesus, I probably would have been like, they're modernizing it. I hate when they modernize musicals, and that's usually where I mentally check out and I'm like, nope. But they had Alice Cooper, so I was like, my love of Alice Cooper outweighs my not wanting to see John Legend. Although, ironically, my youngest sister, who doesn't even like this show, heard John Legend's playing Jesus. She was like, okay, I'll watch it, and then she totally didn't. But she had planned on it, but then, again, it, like, watched about 2 minutes and so I was like, I'm out. But, Yeah, that. It did she, like, tried to go social justice warrior with it, like, within minutes. She was like, "Oh, look, almost all the cast is black!" I was like, she seriously judges movies, TV shows, and musicals by if they're, like, switched to all black casts now, just because she's dating a black guy, and at this point, I'm just like, could you stop doing that, please, and just appreciate it for what it is? That really doesn't matter one way or the other. But yeah, it was not lost on me that yes, they did do that. There was like a grand total of like maybe 3 white guys. But again, I don't care. Actually, the best singer in it was one of the black guys, the guy who played Judas. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know his name offhand, and that actually led to a kind of funny thing. Within a couple of minutes of hearing him sing, I was like, damn! And then, like, my next thought was, he should be in Hamilton! And during one of the commercial breaks, I, like, Googled to see who's playing him. Who is this awesome guy? And, oh shit, he is from Hamilton! Well! Well! Okay then. It's not me being nuts. He actually, alright, that's why it feels like he should be in it. He is in it. He is actually the one who called out Mike Pence during that one production of Hamilton. Yeah, it's that guy. And again, I feel really bad for not remembering his name offhand. I even looked at it right before recording this, so I would hopefully remember it, and I'm still forgetting it. I feel really bad. But he was definitely, like, the best thing of this whole production was that guy, and that's why I feel so bad that I don't have his name memorized. But if you saw it, you know who I'm talking about. And he was badass and awesome. I'm not quite so sure why they went black leather with, like, the grand majority of the characters. That, I'm like, again, I've not seen a live production of it. I don't know if this is how it's normally done with this show. I feel like it's probably not. This is probably just like their take being like, no, this is a cool production. Watch. No, really. See, we're in black leather, therefore it's cool, yeah. It felt a little forced because of that, but I mean, I got over it quick enough. Although, can we talk about the one guitarist right in the intro who I definitely mistook for the Edge from U2 for like a solid 3 seconds, and then was like, wait, no, that's not the Edge. He has like the same facial hair and the same hat though, so I mean, and he's kind of playing like him. I know I'm nearsighted, but shit, it looked like the Edge, only about 30 years younger. So, just saying. But it was awesome. So, the guy playing Judas was all sorts of badass through the entire damn thing. But then John Legend, though. I don't dislike John Legend. I have nothing against John Legend. And then I feel like he wasn't really suited for this role. I'm sorry, unpopular opinion time. I feel like they could have cast this better. Hell, even if they got the guy who played Judas to play Jesus, probably would have been better, but then you'd need somebody equally as awesome and as strong-voiced to do Judas, and I'm like, I don't know, the odds of finding two like that for this show, probably not so great, but... So yeah, let's not mess with Judas, just let him be him. He's awesome in his own right, and sounded fairly true to the original recording of it, actually, surprisingly. But John Legend, though... Like, his voice didn't have enough passion behind it to be Jesus. His acting was non-existent. He kept doing this weird thing, like on every word syllable with his shoulders, and was like, oh my god, can you stop? Like, I know this is the theater nerd in me just coming out and just rage quitting over it, but I was like, okay. For real, though. Could we get anybody else to play this role? Oh my god. Like, I get... Well, bad choice of words there, but... For real, I mean, I get he has, like, the very gentle, kind face thing going on, which is probably good for playing Jesus. But... I mean, this is a production. This is a musical. You have to have more than just a good voice, you also have to have dancing ability and acting ability. You have to be the trifecta if you want to be in the musical, otherwise your role is going to fall flat. I'm sorry, these are facts. Again, I'm a spoiled Liza Minnelli fan. I'm used to seeing things that are that trifecta, and if they do not hold up, they don't cut it for me. But, he just, I don't know, he wasn't necessarily bad vocally, I mean, he hit the notes he's supposed to hit, minus, like, the screaming, calling out to God ones. He didn't really do that, I don't know. But, I don't know. Like I said, it didn't have the passion behind it. It just, I wasn't feeling it on him. And then, again, bringing in the lack of acting and the lack of dancing, he kind of just ambled around, just walked around the whole time. Whoever choreographed the cues of who looks when at what even screwed that up with him. I don't know if that was on him. I don't know if that was on a choreographer. But that it didn't fit right. There was a few other things like that that make me believe maybe it was a choreographer issue. Because there were certain parts with, like, the big group of dancers where it was kind of just a clusterfuck mess. Like, nothing was lining up with anything. Some guys over here are doing one thing. These are, like, clashing over here doing a completely different thing. And these, just, I don't know, I realize that not everyone has to be doing the same exact dance move at the same time, but there are certain times when you can tell that I don't think this was a choreography decision necessarily so much as just these people are not doing the right move at the right pacing, and just, yeah, certain parts of it were kind of a mess with that. There's a couple songs in particular I noticed it during. One of them was during the title song of Jesus Christ Superstar. The other one, what was the other one? I have the tune in my head and I'm blanking on the name. One with, wait. What's the Buzz? That's the other one. Because I almost did the, when do we ride into Jerusalem? When do we, like, that part, like, the dance moves were just so unsynchronized to where it was making my OCD go insane. And I was like, dude, get it together, guys. Holy shit. Like, I almost bailed right there because of that exact reason. And then there was Sarah Bareilles. I don't even know how you say her name. I'm not a fan, admittedly. I'm generally not into her voice. To be fair, full disclosure, she played Mary Magdalene in this. And the second I heard that she was playing it, I was like, oh god, why? But it kind of worked. Again, I went into it accepting from the first moment that, okay, it's not going to sound exactly like the original album. Be okay with that, because I know I do tend to have problems with that. But I went into it with that mindset of be okay with it, be open to it being a different interpretation. Hers was actually pretty close to the original. There was a few parts where it's like, again, like the John Legend thing not having the passion behind it. Yeah, hers kind of fell flat in certain spots that it probably shouldn't have. But for the most part, it was better and fit better than I was expecting it to. And visually, I feel like she probably fit that role better than most people would, too. Again, I'm saying this as somebody who's never actually seen it, but just mental image when listening to the album or any production of it, it's like, yeah, that pretty much fits the mental picture I've had with this song, or with these songs, I suppose, that have her in them. So I guess they kind of hit the mark on that. So I can't complain too much about her as much as I wanted to be able to. I'm like, she wasn't that bad. And it hurts my soul to have to admit that she wasn't that bad, because I don't like her generally, but I will give credit where credit's due. She did an alright job in this, so fine, alright, well done. The guys that they had playing, Caiaphas and, why am I brain farting on his name? The other one that sings with Caiaphas. I'm blanking so hard on the name, but you know who I'm talking about at least? Their voices were amazingly close to the original, to where, like, okay, I first have to mention, we have, like, a 5-speaker, like, surround system in our living room, and one of them is a big, ginormous subwoofer. The one with the deep voice rattled the sofa, and I was like, holy shit! It made me jump, because his voice is so low and booming. I was like, yeah, that's about right! That is how that voice is supposed to sound for that character. Holy crap. So he opens his mouth and sounds like that, and I'm expecting the other one, because I have spot on that one is, I'm expecting the other one to fall flat, and no, his sounds pretty true to the original too. So, alright, so spot on, No issues there. Gonna admit that's not what I mentally had envisioned for those roles, but then again, I've never seen it, so maybe that's how it's supposed to look. I don't know. I am, again, reviewing this from a standpoint of somebody who's only ever listened to this show. So, those two were amazing. The guy who played Pilot, I have mixed feelings on. Not all good, not all bad. I think I kind of just missed the original guy's voice, because I really like his voice in the original album, so that one I'm still grappling with trying to just accept it at face value for its own thing. It's not going to be same as the original, accept that shit. So, alright, fine. When I get past that, he's alright. But when comparing it to the original, I'm like, no, I want the guy from the original, or somebody who sounds like the guy from the original, because I really liked his voice. But we don't get that here. This guy did sound considerably different. It was an interesting choice to make him be like a kind of, at least semi-flamboyant version of Pilot. Alright, I don't care, but it was just like, okay, not what I thought we were doing with this character. I would have figured more for, like, King Herod if we were doing that, but alright, I guess we're doing that for Pilot. That's cool. It's a little weird, but that's cool. I like this outfit, and on its own merit, he has a cool voice, but at the same time, I was really missing the guy from the original, because I really, really liked his, and for how spot on Caiaphas and the other guy were, I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd get a guy that sounds really similar to the original on this too, but no, not so much on this one. So, alright, fine. That's alright. It just, I have to remind myself that these are not the same production. They're not going to sound exactly the same. Be more okay with that. And like I said, to a degree, I am, but to a degree, I do wish it sounded closer to the original, so that's that. So then we have Alice Cooper as King Herod. And he is the one that was trending all over Twitter right afterwards for, like, the rest of the production, which I can see why, but, it's just funny that he was the selling point for me on this, and yet, after watching it, this also hurts my soul to admit he was probably one of my least favorite things about it. I liked his dancing girls, they were cool, but, I mean, they were going for that very theatrical, very Broadway, very burlesque, very vaudeville sort of vibe. But it's still Alice Cooper, and he still has Alice Cooper's voice. And I could tell that he was trying to not sound as much like his, like, not Prince of Darkness, but, like, his persona. Prince of Darkness is Ozzy, but you know the persona I'm talking about. He's done a couple of albums where he's not sung like that. And this sounded more like those. So that wasn't like a total shock. I mean, that actually was probably a good call, but then he would like slip back into the persona. I was like, oh, okay, now it's not quite working as well. And just, I don't know, I had a lot of mixed feelings about Alice and his role in this. Now, there was one thing I found really interesting that I didn't notice while actively watching it, but I found out when I started going through the Twitter feed and through the hashtags on there for Alice Cooper and King Herod and Jesus Christ Superstar Live. Apparently the suit that he wore for this, I knew something about it caught my eye while I was watching it, but I couldn't put my finger on what. I knew it seemed odd. Something about it made me vaguely uncomfortable, but I couldn't pinpoint what. Apparently, on his suit that he had for this was this image of John the Baptist being beheaded, which apparently is a thing that happened in the Bible that I was completely unaware of until Easter, because I had never heard that story, evidently, and apparently it happened before Jesus died too, which again, did not know. I guess this is what they're referencing in the lyrics, like John before him, this Jesus must die. Yeah, apparently that's exactly what they're talking about, and apparently it was King Herod who put him to death. So, Apparently in this version, he literally has this emblazoned across his suit. Alright. God damn it, Alice. I shouldn't even be shocked by that, given, like, his stage shows and what all they tend to consist of, but yeah, I was still, like, when I saw, like, just a still image of it that showed it clearly, I was like, oh shit. Well, that would explain why just subconsciously something about it made me super uncomfortable, even though, again, I'm nearsighted, I couldn't tell what I was looking at really on the screen. But seeing a still image of it on the computer, I'm like, oh, that would be it. Alright. Well. But again, I did like his dancing girls a lot, so there's that. Another thing I was completely unaware of, both that it happened in the Bible and that it happened in this show, because, again, never seen it, only listened to it, I didn't realize Judas hangs himself. Yeah, I think I had some inclination that he dies in one way or another. Wasn't sure if they murdered him, wasn't sure if it was a suicide, wasn't really sure how all that happened. But yeah, apparently, spoiler alert, that's what happens, and, they depicted it, and it totally caught me off guard. For those who are, longtime viewers of this channel, no, I was not triggered by it, but I was surprised by it, because I just didn't know that was a thing. I'm like, oh! Okay, alright. Although when they showed, like, the scaffolding that he went up into to go do his act, am I the only one who got vibes of Rent? Because I feel like maybe they used a set from Rent. Because that was one other thing they did differently in this production than the other, like, Grease Live, or Rocky Horror Live, or blah 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 Live. They actually did this one in a theater, and this one was in Brooklyn somewhere. I saw that, I googled what theater it was that night, but I forget now, but it was in Brooklyn, I know that much offhand. So this one actually was as if you went and saw a production of it at a theater. This is about what it would look like, apparently. And that does afford a lot more leeway in the way that they put the sets together and explain a few things of just how they went about depicting different things, like the famous scene where there's the people holding a marketplace in the church and Jesus gets pissed and flips some tables. Yeah, that was in it, and the way they depict it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that does look very stage version-y, alright. I can get behind that. But, if they had done this, like, on a sound stage somewhere, it probably would have looked a lot more professionally done. So, I mean, it's just different ways of going about it. Actually, I feel like I preferred it this way. But yeah, I was completely unaware of that, and then because of that, was, like, more surprised when I was like, wait. So when it gets to, like, the title song, so Judas is back? But he died. And it was like, maybe this is his ghost singing this song? He was very fabulous in his outfit, but I was like, wait. Okay. Maybe that's why that part of the album always kind of confused me. I was like, wait, but I thought he was dead. Maybe he's not dead. Again, without seeing it, this left some blurriness on certain plot aspects, but now apparently he was very much dead, so y'all learn something new every day. Apparently my dad knew that, didn't tell me that detail, and just conveniently left that out. That's why when I looked at him, I was like, dude, you didn't tell me that happens. He's like, you've listened to him? I'm like, they don't explicitly say that that's what he's doing. Like, I kind of got the vibe that he went nuts and probably did off himself, and it wasn't a murder. I had kind of a gut feeling it was a suicide, but it was like, oh, okay, alright, so that is a thing. And then he's back. I was like, was that always a thing in productions of this, that he comes back for it? I don't know. I mean, I know he sings it on the album, so I guess so, but yeah. There's that. The way that they close the show out, I also don't know if this is typically how it's done in stage productions of it or not, but the visual was very powerful. Oh wait, actually before I get to that, there was one thing that, it just felt off. Hold on. I'm sorry, I heard talking downstairs, I got distracted. Okay, so, the famous whipping scene. Obviously, they can't legit whip John Legend on stage in front of national television, or even just on stage at all. But I mean, I figured they'd just, like, make it look like it or something. No, instead they had him tied up, and then for every whip like they had like a random cast member just like run through and like yank on one of the chains. It was like, and so he would like whip around like as if he were being beaten. It was like, that's, I don't know, I found it very distracting, the way that they did it. I mean, I guess I understand why, but I personally found it distracting. If anybody who's seen the show knows otherwise, is that how it's normally done, or is that how they always do it in the stage production? Because I'm just like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? And even John Legend's, like, acting during that was not very good, even with people forcibly moving his body to make it look like he's being whipped. It still didn't feel believable, so... Okay, but, that aside, back to what I was talking about and how they ended. So they have him up on the cross, and Jesus dies, and he ascends into the heavens. But rather than having just his body go up, they had the whole freaking cross like, lift up. I mean, you could kind of see the cables, but it goes up, and then it's supposed to be, like, the visual of the heavens opening, but it was, like, these 4 blocks towards, like, the back of the stage, and they open, like, up and out, so that it also forms another cross between these blocks, and the cross goes between the cracks, and then back and disappears into the ether, like as if it were disappearing into the heavens, and then the blocks slowly close again, to where it's just a little sliver of light through the cross. In the middle of the cross, it's almost like as if it's Jesus' spirit shining through the cross, and that's just how it ends. That was, like, a very powerful visual. Again, I don't know if that's how they normally ended in a stage production, but I thought it was really interesting and a really cool way that they filmed it. Because of the spotlight, it almost lost the effect because of the, like, sunburst effect. It kind of blurred out the cross at certain angles, and you kind of couldn't tell what it was. But then, like, it moved a little bit to where you could tell. I don't know. Overall, though, I liked it. There were certain things about it, yeah, if I were in charge of it, I would probably improve, but overall, I liked it, and I definitely liked it miles better than I've liked pretty much any of the other, like, live productions of anything that they've done in recent years on TV, so I mean, I will give it props for that. It's probably my favorite one they've done so far, and if future ones are more like this, I would probably be more willing to sit down and watch more of them, because this was actually enjoyable, even with John Legend's shitty, non-existent acting skills. So, anyways, I pass the question off to you. Did you watch it? What did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments, because I'd like to know what everyone thought about it, and any aspect of it, just let me know. And as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not already, and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Make sure you're following my social media accounts. They're all listed down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation links, as always, are down in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.